Hello, everyone, and welcome to Taylored Acres. I'm Taylor, and I am a gardener in Wisconsin Zone 4B. And this past week was my first time entering my county fair. So I wanted to take you through the whole process because I had some serious misconceptions that led to a lot of confusion for me. So a video that walks you through the whole process in how to apply, how to drop stuff off, how judging goes, would have been really helpful for me. So I'm hoping that this is a good resource for you if you are looking to enter your county fair. So let's get started. And I'm also going to go through at the end all of the items that I submitted and my results for my first time. And it was so fun. I'm so looking forward to next year. This is the website for my county fair. It is held in Marshfield, Wisconsin every year. So to see what categories and stuff they have for open exhibitors, we're going to go in here to get involved. And then exhibitors open class. They do also have a junior fair. And in here they have the animals as well. So we're just going to scroll down. So this is called the Open Class Premium Book is what we're going to be looking at here. So it gives you all kinds of dates and details. You can see here that it was August 15th was the entry deadline for the Open Class non-animals. So you would click there to enter your entries online, which is what I did, and I'll see what it will let me do now. And if you scroll in here, there's the Open Class Premium Book, shows you everything, the whole book. But if you scroll down here, you can do, sorry if you can hear the cat. You can hear, or you can see so there's plants and soil sciences, flowers and potted plants, which the plant, Department 14 is vegetables, Department 15 is flowers and potted plants. And then I did also enter Department 26 clothing, but we're not going to talk about that one too much today. So in here in Department 14, if you click on it, it tells you who the superintendents are. If you have any questions, you can directly contact them. The entry deadline is up there and when the entries had to be in place. So I had to take them on Monday of the fair between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. And then it tells you when the judging is, which something I didn't know is that you can stay for that judging and watch them judge all the things in that class. So that will be something interesting that I'm going to try to attend tomorrow or next year for at least for the flowers. And then another important note is that the exhibits are dismissed the Sunday of the fair from 6 to 7 p.m. And that was an absolute crazy time. There was so many people trying to get their stuff there, so just be mentally prepared for that. And you had to park pretty far away. Just something to keep in mind. So when I was deciding what to enter here, a couple of things that I was very confused about was what this premium meant. And I thought it was like your entry fee for each thing. That's what they give you for getting first, second, third, or fourth place. So they mail you a check at the end based on your total. So then that was one of the things that I was super confused about. So the actual entry fee is $30 no matter how many things that you enter. So you can enter early, which was another thing that I got confused on because I'm like, well, what if my beans aren't good at this time? So that's why I waited till the last minute to enter, which also caused me another issue, which I'll mention later. You can enter whatever you want, but you don't have to submit an entry for it when it comes. You just have to let them know you're not going to submit that when you check your stuff in. So next year, I'm going to enter like basically anything that I could bring, and then I'll just bring the stuff that really is like fair worthy once the time comes. So they have different classes. So then in these classes, so like this one is field crops up here. So they do best in class, honorable mention for each class, which is really cool. So it's like the best of the best in that class, which is interesting. So I didn't enter any of those. We also have potatoes, which I was going to do and I chickened out, and I should have done it. I think I would have actually placed pretty well in the potatoes. And then we have vegetables, which is a large category of many different things. So you can see there's 75 different vegetables categories that you can enter in here. And then they have some other things like garden box, which we saw those and they looked really cool. I might try to do those next year. They have a scarecrow contest, largest vegetable and sunflower, crab apples, apples. And also I was very surprised that they had apples in there because it's like no apples are ready right now. But the guy that was checking us in, I asked him about that and he's like, just bring whatever point they're at because everyone's will be at the same point. So they judge them based on kind of like where they're all at compared to each other. So I thought that was very interesting as well. So if we go back out into the flowers, you can see that there are many different flowers that you can enter as well. There are 67 different categories for that one. And then in class 2 flowers is bouquets and arrangements. So a bunch of different categories in there. And the definition that they have for the name of it is basically all you have to go off of what they're looking for. So a couple of things I'll go over is in the judging forms that I found, which is like a 4-H document. And 4-H kind of is where all of this stems from, was what I got out of it. So yeah, this is kind of the gist of what you can enter in here. And then I'll show you how to enter next. Okay, so we are now going to go into the fair entry and I'll try to walk you through as much as it will let me. So I clicked there and we're going to do find your fair. So if we, let's see here. Search. So we have the open class one down on the bottom. So we click on that and then it does say it's open. So we're going to do as an exhibitor. And then you can log on here. All right. So you can see that I had the 22 entries in here. I don't know if it'll let me add any more. Let's see. So basically, you just go through here, yep, create entry. So this is where you're going to choose what you want here. And they do have separate instructions, at least on mine, on how to do this all. It's kind of weird to do in landscape mode here so you guys can see it. So let's see, we'll just do flowers. So then you select what class it is. So basically you're going to want to go through that book and like highlight anything that you want to enter and then come back here and then select the things that you want to enter. So I'm going to choose that and then it will bring up all of the lots. So you can select all of them that you want on here. Let's just do that. And then you can only do one per lot entry. Okay, then we'll continue. And then, yeah, it says it's not currently open, but you get the point. And then that's pretty much it. And then once you're done adding everything, you kind of hit checkout and it gives you a printable list, which I'll show you what that looks like next. Here is everything that I have entered. So I have 22 entries. I do have 5 sewing entries. I did do some vegetables and then mostly flowers. As you probably know from my channel, that is definitely my passion. So what I did is I printed out my entry form, numbered them so I can keep track of everything. And then I'm writing the varieties as I go over here if that's something that I have to declare as part of it so that I don't forget. I'm also using these little sticky notes to label each individual thing with. Because I was a late entry, I didn't get my tickets until I got on site the day of check-in. I did have to go to their office and they had an envelope with all my tags with my name on it, so that wasn't too bad. But I had to attach them all to my stuff once I got there, and I had 22 things that I entered, so it was quite a process. The people that were working there were awesome and helped me out. They were super nice. So thank you to them and making this process a little bit easier. So next year, I know that I need to enter before the deadline, and I think it said before August 1st, and they will mail you these so that you can attach them before hand. And then also the entry description area, you can write what varieties and stuff you have in there, which I think will help with the judging as well. So this is what the tag looks like. It has your number on it and then what class and lot it is. So easy peasy, just get it attached. All of these we just put a little piece of string and then tied it around the vase for the flowers, or pinned it to something. The vegetables, though, they did have styrofoam containers for all of them, and then they stapled your tag on there. So just to bring your tag with your vegetables was all that was needed for that. But for all the flowers and the vases, I'm going to attach them ahead of time with the entry description for next year. So this is how I'm packing stuff up. I got paper in the bottom of this, so these are somewhat sturdy. I'm going to wrap it a little bit better in there. And then I found this wine box thing in the basement. So these hold the taller ones pretty nice. They are a little bit wobbly, so I think I'm going to find stuff to stuff down each one, some of that paper. Tote for that. And then the vegetables, I just put in Ziploc bags in here. So hopefully everything makes it okay. The exhibits were in the hockey building, which was easy to find once we got there and once we found out what building it was in. And the open class was easily labeled. Different departments had different sections. So flowers, vegetables, and clothing were 3 separate check-ins, but all the people there were super helpful and things were well labeled to get our exhibits placed. Next up comes the judging. So like I said before, you can find out what time your judging is going to take place and stay for that. I didn't realize that you could do that this year. I probably will do it next year and, learn even more about the process. So the lady said that they start at 6:30 and they got done at like 9:30. So it is like a 3-hour ordeal, which is kind of crazy. And that the judges that they have get paid like mileage and their time to be there, which I always thought was pretty interesting. So if you search for, flowers, what did I search? 4-H flower judging, you'll come across this document here, and this helped me so much when I was trying to research all this stuff. Of course, this isn't going to work well in landscape. So it's a document, and it's A2935, and it kind of goes into all of the things that the judges are supposed to look for. So this helped me in what I chose to submit for my exhibits. And basically the gist of it is like you want the most identical things to be what you submit. Like if you have multiples of them. Otherwise you just want like the most perfect specimen, like no bug damage, a uniform color, it to be at the perfect maturity stage, big size, and that kind of stuff. So this document has all of those details. I did also find one for vegetables. I don't know if I even looked for one for clothing, but I would imagine that there are quite a few different documents out there for that. And this was on the UW site. And again, it was like 4-H flower judging is what I searched for to find it. So the last bit of the process is just to pick up your exhibits at the pickup time. Ours was 6 to 7 p.m. on Sunday, which it was crazy. There was just people everywhere. Gates were closed, roads were blocked. It was wild because everyone's like picking up cows and all kinds of stuff. So just be prepared for that too. And if you don't pick up in that time, they will toss your stuff. So that's about it. But you can visit the fair anytime after your stuff is judged to find out how you did. So my son and I had gone on the Thursday of the fair to see how we did, and it was so cool to see, which next I'll kind of show you like my preparation and then also like more clips of the fair and photos and stuff like that of what everything was like when we were there to give you the gist of the feel of the fair. They do also give you 1 free exhibitor pass for the entire fair, so you can go back multiple times and it doesn't cost you anything. It's included in that $30 initial entry fee. So if you have any questions about your fair, feel free to find your superintendent to reach out to them or drop a comment below and I'll try to answer the best of my ability. But like I said, like I'm a total novice at this too. I put a lot of time and effort into learning the process to share with you and my experiences, so I hope that you find that helpful too. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the video with everything that went into my exhibit. So this is all of my flowers that I have. This is my greenery. So we got Frosted Explosion, Mrs. Burns Lemon Basil, and then I did harvest some of the cinnamon basil too. It's a very unique color, so I'm not sure if I'm going to use that one or not. We have a ton of celosia this week, so flamingo feather. This one is the purple flamingo feather, which is one of my favorites because it has so many leaves up high. So it kind of like is a double count filler with the greens and the spikes. This is Ruby Parfait, and then this is the mix that I grew. So it was some spun sugar, rainbow sherbet maybe from Baker's Creek, I think. I don't know, they all kind of look the same. They're like a very happy fun palette. And then we have zinnias, and then this is the Lisianthus that I grew from seed. It is blooming, it is gorgeous, and it was the Arena 3 apricot. Love that color. Lots of zinnias, more zinnias. So, well, I'll go through my entries in a second. So these are some of the leftovers that I had. We have sunflowers for the first time this week, which are just absolutely adorable. I plant those super close together, like 2-inch spacing so they stay small. Still have Rudbeckia, which is crazy. All right, and then I'll go through my entries here. Okay, so don't mind the mess. That's just life lately. So, parsley, which was only 3 stems, and I had some pretty good looking parsley, so I did that. We have pickling cucumbers. You needed 5 of those. My sizes aren't as uniform as I would have liked them, but that's just how it goes. We got 12 Vortex pole beans. Cucamelons, this was my like bonus entry of something not listed. They're just so cute and fun. We have a kale, which I don't know if I'm going to get disqualified or not for this. This is a decorative kale, not an edible kale. Maybe you can eat it. I don't know. We'll find out how that goes. And then garlic as well. Okay, so I've been doing a ton of research on this and looking up judging rules so I can pick the best things to show. So the point of a lot of these like individual categories, like these ones right here, is to have like the most uniform looking plants. So zinnias are a little bit wild. The Rudbeckia at this time of year are also not very uniform, but some of the other ones are. So I did the zinnias. This was like 2-inch and over, I think, or 2 to whatever it was. There's like different categories for everything. So this is my zinnias. And then this was 3 branches of something not listed. So I got my Lisianthus here. And then a yellow Rudbeckia. So I have this, and I grew it from seed and it perennialized from the Cherokee Sunset mix. And then we have Midnight Rose Heuchera leaves. This is I think the most unique variety that I have, so that's why I picked that one. And then we have yellow polka dot bikini hostas, which you know I'm not a hosta lover, but this one is like, it just looked very uniform, so that's the one I picked. I mean, we do have a little bit of bug damage and stuff on them, but that's just the way it is right now. We have 3 stems of celosia, so this is the Ruby Parfait. And then we have 1 sunflower, which is actually Vincent's choice, my first year growing it, and it was the most uniform one that I had, so that's why I picked that one. And then this is my bouquet, my annual bouquet, which using all annuals is actually not something I usually do, so that was pretty difficult for me. And I'm also not sure if this form is a bouquet or not, so that will be a learning experience for me this year. And this is beyond the usual scope of my channel, but here are my entries for the sewing portion of the fair. So this is a costume. This one was Mercat from Gabby's Dollhouse. So I made that one a few years ago. This is a children's sweatshirt. So this even has little pockets. And then this is a adult sweatshirt here. It also has pockets. Adult shirt or blouse. And then a dress. So those are my entries for sewing. I have everything done finally. This is what we're submitting. So we got the annual, perennial, all green, which was very interesting challenge. These sweet potato vines I think were fun. Hopefully they last. And then this is the arrangement I made, which is not something I normally do. So it was a fun challenge. I pulled the last second audible on my annual bouquet. It just didn't feel like me. This one definitely feels like me. So we're running with it. The rest of this video is footage from the fair on the Thursday of the fair. So everything has been judged already. And you can see that there are definitely room for more entries on many of these things. So I encourage you to do your entries next year. I'm still cracking up over this because I could not find my perennial bouquet. I thought someone stole it, but really it had won the honorable mention award for the flower department. Totally blew my mind. So that was so cool to see. So it got pulled over to the special area over here. I was also very surprised to find my two child's clothing entries over here that had won Best in Show and honorable mention. It was a clean sweep for me in the children's clothing. So as you can see, I did awesome in my first county fair. So I had 1 best of show, 2 honorable mentions, 11 first places, 6 second places, 3 third places, and 2 fourth places. Everything that I entered won a ribbon, which blows my mind. One thing I thought was funny though is that my kale that I entered, it was actually the only kale that was entered, but it still got second place. It just wasn't up to their standards. So, all right, enjoy your first county fair. Let me know any tips and tricks that you might have, and hope to see you competing soon.